So I wanted to give you just a little bit of a bigger picture. A lot of people talk about these same things, but I want to bring it into a little bit different context and what the meaning is for us and the 30,000 engineers to 220,000 employees at Continental. And the first is, of course, everybody knows, whoops, I'm sorry, that's me. The first is everybody knows it, that the pollution in the world is a critical factor, and it's getting worse before it gets better. And as we're a mobility company, whether it's mobility of people, mobility of products, mobility of material, this becomes a very significant focus for us. And as an example, last year we had announced, our powertrain division had announced a 48-volt system, which today now is in production. So we're approaching the problem, the CO2 issue, we're approaching it as fast and as deliberately as possible. Because for us, when we say clean, and everybody talks about clean, safe, and intelligent, especially Continental, we say clean, we're really looking to the environment, and at the end, when we talk about it amongst ourselves, we're talking about saving trees. And essentially that's what we're doing. Yes, there's a human factor, but at the end, it does start with trees. No trees, no humans. So one context, one component of what it is we are working on. The other is that when we're speaking about efficiencies, we're talking about how people are using their time. If they're going to be spending time in a car, or they need to be able to use the internet, stay connected, always on, and the time, the 50 minutes in commuting a day, we need to enable them to develop this efficiency. We know there's 9 billion hours of internet use a day, and if you look at the 3 billion people that are using it, there's about 1 billion people that are driving every day with an average of 50 minutes. So that number, if we enable them, brings a certain amount of efficiency, it brings a certain amount of intelligence, and it's a good use of their time. But with this connectivity, and now that it's in the car, it comes now to another obligation that we have, that Continental has, and that is basically cybersecurity. You have to remember, Continental is really a safety company. We started with tires, we moved into chassis systems, and with electronic stability control and other ABS, these systems are safe, and it makes the driver secure. So our DNA, with quality tires, which is where the car meets the road, it's where the safety begins. The ABS and other types of systems that we develop and have been developing, that's our DNA that says security is paramount. And we know with the pipeline, we know this connectivity, now there's also a certain amount of exposure that the person could have or the car could have, and therefore cybersecurity becomes even more important. So what we'd like to talk today or say today is that Electrobit, which is a division or a business within Continental, they joined the Continental company about 2 years ago. They're a software firm. They have developed a cooperation with Argus, who is a well-known cybersecurity company. And there'll be more to talk about this tomorrow as the experts will be available. But in general, I think what it says is that we talk about intelligence, we talk about connectivity. This is a major step that Continental is taking to realize that. But with that, I might add, is that as we develop this platform, because it's with Electrobit, who is part of the Conti family, and they are responsible for our AUTOSAR platform, this security concept will be brought into an AUTOSAR compliant platform, meaning every single ECU that Continental provides will get the benefit of this. So with that also, when we talk about safety and security, of course, we know one of the major elements of what we're trying to do in the automobile industry is basically this side of safety. We say that there's up to 3,000 people killed a day. If you look at the 1.3 fatalities, there's 3,000 people killed per day. That's approximately 7 or 8 747s that crash. And if there was 7 747s that crashed every single day, nobody would get in an airplane. Yet for some reason, we'll still get in an automobile. For us, when we talk about security and we talk about trying to bring this to vision zero, bring it down to nothing, we also talk about it's kind of like curing a cancer. It's saving babies. So when we speak about this internally, we do use the term, let's go save babies. And that's a context that Continental is bringing into its social responsibility. Again, 30,000 engineers, we need to be thinking in the same way, and why is it we're actually here? So the idea of safe, clean, and intelligent, me as the CTO with 30,000 engineers, we need to develop also the enablers of the future. So it's not just the products, it's the methods. How are we doing this? We talk about new development processes, new methods and tools. We talk about the tool chains, over-the-air updates. Now, over-the-air updates, what does this provide for us as an engineering organization? It's the pipeline of information. That means we can start realizing something what we call connected engineering. I've been in the industry for 32 years, and since day one, I've heard everybody talk about shortening the development process. Well, frankly, it hasn't shortened maybe by 1 month in 30 years. But with connected engineering, with the pipeline the car provides to us, the real world data, the new tools that are out there and the platforms available to us, we firmly believe that we will be able to quickly and significantly shorten the development cycle. And that means we're able to get new technology, specifically safety technologies, out into the consumer's hands much, much faster. And we also are able to get the feedback from the consumer, their use cases, let's say the demographic of how they're using the vehicle. So for us, this is an enabler for the future, and much of it is developed and realized because of something else that has happened. It is, we know that computational power has gone through the roof, and it's enabled some things like, say, artificial intelligence. We know artificial intelligence has been around for 60 years or so, but it hasn't made the strides that it is now currently making. We know that deep learning is the new methodology, and the computer is able to support us with that. If you look at what the computer power has done, in regards also to artificial intelligence, there's a few impulses I'd like to give. Substitution. This is a little bit abstract, but if you think about also years and years ago, we talked about interfacing using net meeting and all that sort of thing. The computer today is allowing us to engage in completely different ways, and it's engaging so much with more than just with digital models and bucks and so forth. It really gives you a presence of mind and gives you a feeling that you are actually there. So the computer is allowing this substitution to take place to where we are able to improve our capacities. When you consider that Continental has 150 engineering locations worldwide, it's a requirement for us to be able to capitalize on these types of new opportunities. Of course, with that comes, with artificial intelligence, we see, Mr. Robot, and so there's a delegation that goes on. And when people think of robots and things like this, we also have to consider what does it mean in the mobility world. We know Amazon just made a delivery a couple of weeks ago, an official delivery using a drone. Okay, that's also a form of delegation, but it's a clear influences the mobility world, the OEM world. And if you think of a drone as being, let's say, nano mobility, consider that how much traffic every day is caused by pizza delivery and where that's going to wind up once drones are perfected. We'll all be getting all these small things, the quart of milk, the cup of sugar, the pizza, the video, whatever you want, via a drone. So it's going to cut into the volumes regarding the use of the automobile in general. The other is a simplification. Of course, everybody knows automated driving. It's not just simplification, this is also substitution. But automated driving is, of course, to simplify the task. We see that everybody in the industry is working into the artificial intelligence and then therefore automated driving space. We also have moved into it. We have a significant investment in this area. We've engaged with Oxford University, which is arguably a leader in artificial intelligence, and that allows us to capitalize or continue driving our DNA, which is safety and mobility. So to bring it together, we see that, yes, we have our clean, safe, and intelligent, But as I said it a few minutes ago, it's also, saving babies, saving trees, and being responsible. There's another thing that Continental brings. When we deal with our OEMs, they have a very vertical view of their markets and their brand. But we as Continental, we enjoy a very horizontal richness in that we see all of the OEMs. And with that, we're able to generate a position or a best-in-class behavior, and we're able to bring something to the OEM that we feel is valuable, especially when you consider research, foresight, new technologies, and then pre-developments.